The movie opens with John Wick slamming an SUV into a wall. Emerging from the wreckage, he's battered and injured. Clutching a stab wound in his abdomen, he struggles towards the sidelines. Panting, he retrieves his phone and watches a cherished video of his wife, Helen, on the beach. Ultimately, John crumples to the ground and closes his eyes. Only days earlier, John had awoken under a gray sky, memories of happier times with Helen flooding his mind. Those memories are cut short by the recent image of her collapsing into his embrace. Helen's life had succumbed to a debilitating illness. On the day of her funeral, in the wake of somber farewells, John finds solace in the comforting words of his old friend Marcus. On that night, a special delivery arrives at John's doorstep, a tiny beagle. Attached to the puppy, John discovers a heartfelt note from Helen, stating she has come to terms with her own passing and wishes for John to find peace as well. Overwhelmed with emotion, John weeps. He takes the little pup outside and notices a flower-adorned collar, from which he deduces Helen christened the canine Daisy. Inseparable, Daisy accompanies John during his day while they cruise in his Mustang. Their outing leads them to a gas station where they encounter three menacing Russian mobsters, one of whom is ISF Tarasov, son of the notorious mob boss Vigo Tarasov. ISF approaches John's car, admiring it, and inquires about its price. However, John replies that it's not for sale. When ISF attempts to interact with Daisy, John swiftly intervenes and deters him. As they leave, one of ISF's henchmen peers into the car and ironically wishes John a pleasant day. As John prepares for bed, Daisy urgently needs a bathroom break. As they descend the stairs, they're confronted by two shadowy figures, with a third stepping forward to brutally strike John's head with a baseball bat. With Daisy whining nervously, the assault on John continues. One of the intruders approaches the distraught dog and heartlessly snaps her neck. Unmasking himself, ISF reveals his identity before knocking John unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, an anguished John tenderly strokes Daisy's lifeless head. In the next scene, ISF brings John's car to a workshop managed by Aurelio. Instantly, Aurelio identifies the vehicle and inquires about its source. With a boastful tone, ISF reveals that he not only stole the car but also killed the owner's dog. Outraged, Aurelio punches ISF in the face. Later on, when John stops by the workshop and questions Aurelio about ISF, Aurelio confirms his suspicions by providing John with ISF's name. In a subsequent call that night, Vigo confronts Aurelio about the altercation with ISF. Upon learning that ISF had stolen John Wick's car and killed his pet, Vigo simply responds with, "Oh." With a sledgehammer in hand, John descends into the basement and proceeds to obliterate the floor. Hidden beneath, he discovers an arsenal of firearms and ammunition. Vigo arranges a meeting with ISF at his residence to address the unfolding situation. To chastise his son, he delivers 2 blows to ISF's abdomen, emphasizing the gravity of the crime he has committed against a formidable foe. Vigo reveals that John was once an ally until he met Helen and chose to walk away from that life. Known as the Boogeyman, John was the one they summoned to eliminate their most dangerous adversaries. Seeking resolution, Vigo attempts to contact John. However, John abruptly ends the call. Vigo dispatches a group of disguised assassins to eliminate John at his residence. Nonetheless, John gains the upper hand and effortlessly defeats them all. He gunned down the majority and engaged in combat with the remaining few, ultimately driving a blade through the final assailant's heart. Following this, John contacts a body disposal team he has worked with previously, aware that it won't be their last encounter. Vigo arranges a meeting with Marcus, proposing that he hunt down and kill John Wick in exchange for a new $2 million contract. He also tells his assistant, Avi, to enlist additional takers for this high-stakes task. Marcus agrees to take on the job. During his stay at the esteemed Continental Hotel for business matters, John encounters a familiar face, a woman known as Perkins. Amidst his quest to locate ISF, John also reunites with an old comrade, Winston. As darkness descends, Marcus stealthily positions himself on a rooftop opposite John's hotel, assembling his rifle with precision. Noticing someone entering John's room through the mirror's reflection, Marcus fires a warning shot. Unveiling herself, Perkins begins to exchange gunfire with John as he skillfully evades her relentless attack. She informs him that Vigo has doubled the contract if she violates the hotel's rules. Eventually, he corners Perkins, putting her in a headlock and offering mercy in exchange for ISF's whereabouts. Reluctantly, she reveals that ISF is in the hotel's bathhouse downstairs. John then incapacitates Perkins and entrusts her to his associate, Harry. John infiltrates the club/bathhouse where ISF and his henchmen are partying. Upon spotting John, a fierce gunfight erupts as ISF makes a run for it. John eliminates every hitman standing in his way, but ultimately loses sight of ISF, who escapes in a waiting getaway car. Harry secures Perkins to a chair with handcuffs, oblivious to the fact that she has dislocated her thumb to escape. Once free, she silently covers Harry's face with a pillow and shoots him. Meanwhile, John infiltrates a church that houses Vigo's concealed fortune. After swiftly eliminating the henchmen present, John coerces the priest into revealing the whereabouts of the hidden money. Without hesitation, he sets it ablaze. Upon discovering the fire, Vigo is suddenly ambushed by a torrent of bullets fired by John. Although John manages to eliminate most of Vigo's henchmen, an unexpected collision between two SUVs disrupts his assault and knocks him off balance. Seizing this opportunity, Vigo captures John and ponders the extreme measures he's taken for vengeance. John reveals to him that the dog was a cherished present from his late wife, a precious memory that ISF cruelly snatched away. Vigo, showing no remorse, orders his henchmen to suffocate John using a plastic bag. However, unbeknownst to them, Marcus watches over from an adjacent building and takes down one of the hitmen with a precise headshot. This distraction allows John to eliminate the remaining henchmen. In retaliation, John fires at Vigo's fleeing vehicle, sparing only Vigo himself. With no other choice, Vigo reveals that ISF is hiding at a safe house in Brooklyn. Despite the safe house being heavily guarded by weapon-toting men, there's no stopping John's merciless onslaught as he eliminates them and storms inside. ISF desperately attempts to escape once more, but to no avail. In the end, it's inescapable fate as John catches up to him and delivers the final blow. In a vengeful act for ISF's demise, Vigo commands his henchmen to locate Marcus and bring him to his residence. Once there, Marcus is brutally beaten before Vigo and Perkins finish him off with gunshots. Afterward, Vigo taunts John by informing him about Marcus' death, right before escaping on a helicopter. Prior to boarding the chopper, Perkins finds herself surrounded by a group of 4 men led by Winston. He admonishes her for violating the Continental's rules and then watches as his men carry out her execution. Upon discovering Marcus's lifeless body, John becomes determined to bring Vigo to justice. He tracks down the evildoers as they attempt to escape by helicopter and uses his car to thwart their efforts. When Vigo orders Avi to eliminate John, he meets a swift and brutal end, courtesy of John's car. As Vigo tries in vain to send John's car careening off a ledge, our protagonist narrowly escapes. They engage in a fierce hand-to-hand brawl amidst a rainstorm. In an unexpected twist, when Vigo attempts to plunge his knife into John, he turns the weapon on himself first, only to seize it and lodge it deep into Vigo's throat, leaving him for dead. The story rewinds to the opening scene with a wounded John watching a video of Helen, drawing newfound strength from her memory. He stumbles upon a dog shelter where he treats his wound and leaves with a new dog by his side as they head home together. John Wick is a non-stop, adrenaline-pumping ride through the world of underground crime, assassins, and betrayal. This 2014 action thriller film has established itself as a modern classic and showcases the exceptional combat skills of its protagonist, played by the brilliant Keanu Reeves. The film takes off with an undeniable intensity that hardly diminishes until the credits roll. The storyline is straightforward yet engaging, a retired hitman seeking vengeance for the death of his dog and the theft of his vintage car, which leads him on a relentless quest for justice. Keanu Reeves truly shines in his role as John Wick, delivering an outstanding performance that blends stoicism, sophistication, and raw physicality. The intense shootouts, fistfights, and astonishing hand-to-hand combat make John Wick a thrilling experience. The visuals are equally impressive, creating an engrossing underworld setting complete with luxurious clubs and hotels reserved for criminal clientele. The costume design and cinematography further contribute to the striking visual style. So, the video ends here. I hope you have enjoyed this. Like, share and subscribe this channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching and have a good day.